playing William Inge.
How familiar had you been with Inge before this?
Very little. I'd encountered Picnic, I'd seen the Roundabout revival a couple years ago, and I'd read Bus Stop, I think, when I was an undergrad. But other than that, I knew very little about him.
What have you discovered?
I'm still in the process of discovering, but as I read his plays and essays and reminiscences about him and try to watch his movies, he wasn't a very public person with his private life, but there's a lot to mine there and a lot of empathetic vibrations I'm finding with him, and yeah, I think it's sort of peeling an onion that was very, very tucked away and hidden.
Now that you've discovered Inge, have you read more of his plays?
I read his 4 back-to-back Broadway hits, so in the order that they premiered, so Come Back Little Sheba, Picnic, Bus Stop, and The Dark at the Top of the Stairs. And I have the rest of his plays, which were considered flops or failures, on my reading pile, on top of 2 biographies, one disguised autobiography, and the movies that I still have to dive into. So,
have you found moments of Inge that have thrilled you?
I mean, because he was so closeted, and this isn't a judgment, but repressed in his sexuality and his expressions of love or desire, when I look at his plays again with that lens, there's so much more there that I would never have seen prior to seeing it in that context. So his how he epitomizes masculinity and the type of men he desired, or unrequited love, or spinsters that I see are stand-ins for him, or people in unhappy relationships or marriages, and the longing. I think he thought he was distancing himself from it and writing fictional characters, but really he poured himself into every single one of them, and you wouldn't know that without sort of mining for where he hid his private life.
Where would you find, what differences and what things do you find that you're alike as William Inge?
Well, I spent a good portion of my young life trying to hide my own sexual identity and expression, and so I empathize with how he wrestled with that, especially in family relations. And then I've just discovered a new writing voice for myself, and in the same way that Tennessee was a gateway and huge boon and help for William's success, Philip Dawkins, our playwright, has been peddling my plays to his contacts in theaters around the country, and drumming up interest for my sort of new baby playwriting career. And so in a lot of ways, this play seems like a letter of encouragement and an inspiration for my own life, despite, the tragedies and the comedies we're navigating through.
So you're also a playwright?
A baby playwright.
That must be interesting, though, because both you and the man that's playing Tennessee Williams, you're both playwrights.
We're both writers as well, yes, yeah.
So have you discussed that? Has that come into...
I think, it informs our work, certainly, and we're also able to sort of dim that cap and highlight our acting sort of sensibilities and necessities in the room, but it's certainly there to help, I think, make it deeper and richer, because we do know what it's like to give birth to a play, so to speak.
And how did you come about this play?
Philip's boyfriend recommended me after watching Billions, and when they were going to do a reading of this last year. And here we are today, that dream come true of going from reading to production. So.
Now, you work a lot in TV as well as in theater.
I do.
Do you have a preference, and what is the difference between the two for you?
I thought I moved to New York initially because I wanted to do theater. I grew up in LA, and I thought, my passion is for the stage, I'll move to the city with the most theater. And instead, while trying to work in theater, I fell into TV and film more. And I realized, because I'd left family behind in California and I have friends around the world, TV and film was a wonderful way to get to reach them or to show them what I've been working on, and there's an intimacy in the living room or in a movie theater that people get to share that maybe we as actors don't always get to witness or take part in as well, but it's a movie ticket or turning on your TV is certainly cheaper than flying to New York for, like, say, my mom or something. So I'm grateful to get to share those things there, but I also, not to place value over one over the other, but I do think there is an intimacy and vulnerability and a magic that happens in the theater that is unparalleled. And so when I can, I really try to find time to do that. And I'm so thankful when I have the opportunity to.